Waiting for it to stream. There we go. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another Lunch and Learn with us here at Action Coaching Birmingham. And it's great to have a new guest we've not had before with us, Kelly from Personalised Nation. Hi, Kelly. How are you?
I'm good, thank you very much. Thank you.
Good. No, it's great to have you with us, and thank you for taking time out of your lunchtime to come and tell us a bit about the power of print, which I know is what we're going to talk about today. Before we get stuck into that, just very briefly for those who are joining us maybe for the first time today, we're streaming live on Facebook and on LinkedIn, and we're also on the Zoom platform. So please do ask any questions you want of Kelly whilst we've got her with us, all about print and the benefits of print in your business and using that as part of your marketing strategy. And I'm sure Kelly, a fountain of all knowledge, everything print and so much more, will be able to answer your questions. We're going to talk a bit about Kelly's business and how it's changed and over the last 12 months, and we'll get stuck into that in a moment. If you're listening to us again, say on the social media platforms, tell us where you're listening to us from. We'd love to interact with you. And if you have any questions that we can't perhaps answer during the webinar or we miss, we'll make sure we reach out to you afterwards, either Kelly or myself. So please do connect with us, and we'll make sure we reach out afterwards, if not during the webinar. But Kelly, it's great to have you with us. I think I've got your correct details. So I've just corrected them on the screen, wasn't I, before we started? So your contact details are on the screen, Kelly. So tell us a bit about, first of all, what do you do at Personalised Nation?
So we produce signage, print and displays for businesses across the UK. There's myself and my husband who are directors of the company. Together we've been in the company in the print industry for just under 30 years now. And we love what we do.
Kelly, I have to say, you don't look old.
Oh, you're too kind, too kind.
So you've been in the print industry for 30 years. If we wind back 30 years, it's a long time, and you've obviously got yourself well established as a business. But what sort of drove you to setting up your own business rather than going and working for somebody else, or what was it about the print industry that attracted you at that time?
So it started with Matt, my husband. So right. He went to college, which was a technical college in Cannock, which is where we're from, and he went into employment to start off with after training, and then very quickly realised that there were some aspects of the job that he loved and aspects of the job that he didn't love so much. So he set up his own business. Fast forward a couple of years when he met me, and I joined him in that venture. I think the reason that we wanted to do that was because in previous lives, shall we call them, we've worked with larger companies whereby we were a third-party printer, really. So we had very little interaction with some of these clients, and very little ability to deliver the service that we now deliver. And we're big believers in our life that you've got to enjoy what you do, because we're at work for the majority of the time until we're lucky enough to retire. And Matt will still probably be at work then. But I think we wanted that creativity. We wanted to be able to share with people the power of print and our experience, as opposed to becoming people that took orders, produced them, dispatched them, and never saw the end result. So that's what inspired us to open our own business.
It sounds like you love taking on somebody else's challenge, trying to and using your creativity between you and Matt, and finding a solution. It reminds me of a phrase I was often taught as a child, that there's never a problem, just a solution not yet found. And it sounds like you're very much of that mindset, that you can plaster your name on anything and everything, if it's you've got the right funds behind it. But just out on that basis, what's the most interesting project? Tell us about one of the most creative projects you've worked on in those 30 years, Kelly.
So we've worked on quite a few interesting projects. One of the most possibly challenging and interesting was we did some printing for Liverpool Lime Street, Virgin at Liverpool Lime Street. We did their first class lounge, and the challenge that we faced when we got there was they'd been previously advised by someone else that of a material that could be used. When we inspected it, it wouldn't have it wasn't fit for the job in hand. So we advised the material that would be suitable and would stand the test of time, because with Liverpool Lime Street being such a large station, they obviously couldn't afford the downtime. So it needs to be durable and it needed to be fit for purpose.
Yes,
our fitters went throughout the night to reduce the downtime of the lounge, the first class lounge, and part of the station. But it comprised of lit signage, window graphics, wall graphics, some really large signage that we had our installers fit in. So there were quite a few logistical sort of things that we had to work around, and quite a few calculations working with other professionals, other trades, to make sure that we weren't in their way either. But it was probably the most pleasing to see afterwards.
yes,
So to stand back and go, wow, we were part of that. All the way through to, we provided a chain of nurseries, Busy Bees nurseries, with 66,000 products, and we delivered them to 330 branches across the UK on a schedule, so that their new brand was released together. So again, that was us sitting down with them and saying, what do you need to achieve with both product and dispatch scheduling, and we housed their products as well. So we stock managed them for them, and then released them for the launch, and then released them after to stock up. So so there's been some quite interesting projects that we've done previously.
And so when people think about printers, they have this very traditional view in their minds, don't they? Well, I know from clients and prospects I've spoken to, they have a very traditional view. And so what you're saying there is you do so much more.
Yes.
Tell me a bit about the business before 2020 hit, and we'll come on to that in a moment. You've got 30 years of experience. So how was the business sort of, December, November 2019?
Well, historically, the print industry or creative industries go through peaks and flows throughout the year. When exhibitions come around, sort of when factories close down. And we were seeing a trend that was different from that, actually, pre-2019, whereby I think the clients we work with don't have that downtime. But so pre-COVID, we were busy. We were working with multi-site companies. We worked with chains of nursing homes, facilities managers across all of their products. So quite rightly, as you say there, the print industry conjures up an image of print, paper, ink. We produce all of that. So we were, producing business cards and brochures and even manuals for chains of nursing homes. And then all of a sudden COVID hit. So that affected quite a lot of our customers, nursing homes especially.
You talked about nurses. Do you specialize in particular industries that were quite more severely hit than others, or?
We've got a large array of industries we work with. We like working with manufacturers, nursing homes, any multi-site companies, because we work with a chain of hairdressers. What we can do for them is nursing homes, for instance, they're opening one. They've just opened one. They're opening another one next year in 2022. We've done all of their signage, but they now say, we've got a branch opening on this date. This is where it is. We need it to look the same as our other branches. Off you go. And so we're able to take that hassle away for them. Our installers know the customer. Customer knows that we will look after their brand guidelines. And I think that really helps, because there's that trust element there. They were heavily hit by COVID, and they obviously had to close their doors to external partners, sort of patients, families, and us at times, really. But we worked with them remotely, so they got a site opening. The planning of it was during COVID. And we worked with them remotely via video links. We were able to send samples out instead of take them. And we adapted, they adapted with us, and the branch is now, the nursing home is now open.
Brilliant. I presume that in those early days of lockdown, well, I'll share my chart with you. Actually, we used this a lot during lockdown, and in that first phase, you know, there's no timescales on here, but we were trying to get our heads around this time last year of what lockdown and what the next year might look like. And in those early stages, it was all about, you know, just sort of taking stock of where we were, wasn't it? And then businesses started to think about, well, what can I do differently and how can I work differently? And is it fair to say in those early days, did business sort of come to a grinding halt, or did the kind of work coming through? I'm presuming, I don't know, Kelly, correct me if I'm wrong, was it lots of signage and health and safety printing at that stage for you?
It was. So initially, overnight, everything kind of stopped. And we moved home with our 4 children, so that was interesting. And and then we very quickly started reaching out to our clients and just saying, are you okay? What's happening in your industry? Can we be of any assistance? And what we found was exactly what you've just said. Their inquiry, that first of all, they were very much firefighting. I think we all were.
On that lockdown,
yeah. And then I think what happened then was they were like, right, okay, we know we've got a responsibility to either the public, our employees, our residents, you know, whichever industry they were in. So we gathered a couple of inquiries that we'd had together, and they were for very, very similar products. So what we did was put together a COVID-19 survival pack almost, that showed our was able to show the customers what products we can produce, what we have been producing, give them sort of almost a pick list, and then that is what we produce. So we did some signage for a large FM company in Coventry who needed to secure their buildings that were occupied by residents, private residents, and also business premises,
right.
You know, providing sort of hand sanitizing stations, dividers, that type of thing. And then I think we've moved, you know, slowly as things changed. Our business went through that peaks and troughs of, you know, desperate need, reactive services. So yeah.
Just a question from me. Did you see an uptake in Christmas cards last year? Is it, you know, I don't know if you print that sort of, you know, more commercial, whether it's where you work, you know, commercial printing. Do you do consumer-based cards for charities and things? Was there an uptake in that this year?
We did. So we do some Christmas cards for our existing clients, including some charities. Actually, they came to us to order them a little bit earlier, but I think that was possibly the time that they got to plan ahead rather than, you know, we need them, it's now November, we need to get them now to send them out. As far as an uptake, there wasn't a huge increase in them. We had some well-being inquiries for staff, so whereby customers sent out promotional products just to boost staff morale, really, working from home. You try and make their environment a little bit more work-like. And that was around Christmas time as gift packages for employees.
So the burning question I think I want to ask you, Kelly, is over the last 12 months, I've been working with many clients, and I'd have to say, you know, 80% of my clients have all turned to digital marketing as their predominant way to stay afloat. And often people say, well, they cut back instantly on marketing and cost to any business. And I often use the analogy of a fruit tree. You know, if you chop the tree down, it's never going to fruit again. It's about carefully pruning it so you look after the tree and it will continue to bear fruit into the future. And marketing is very much like that, isn't it? You should never cut back on your marketing completely. But in a year where I guess a lot of people have turned to digital marketing, I notice on your website you do digital marketing and personalization as well. But with the traditional print and marketing, what's the place for that now in 2021 as we move forwards? Is there still a space for that traditional printed literature, printed material, or do you think the shift is going to remain online going forwards?
I think over the last few years, actually, that the trend was to move things to digital. I'm going to bring up the age-old saying that we've heard during the pandemic of pivot. So everybody had to pivot their business, we've been so we do offer websites and digital, in digital format. We did see quite a few customers of ours say, can you produce our brochure digitally for us? So they did do that, and we helped them, achieve that. I think print is it's one of those things that will be around forever, because it touches customers in such a different way to digital format. So there's the tactile element of what you send a client, the touch, feel, and smell. The amount of people that say to us, I love nothing more than a freshly printed brochure, and the smell of a freshly printed brochure.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
And we've actually recently done a marketing campaign whereby one of our customers describes us as the best thing since sliced bread. We sent out a leaflet that is bread shaped. It smells of bread, because we know the importance of those different elements when you come to marketing. So I do think that digital marketing has definitely got a place, and has probably increased during the pivot that we've all done as business owners. But print brings a different element to promotion of your business. So to give somebody a promotional item, which is something we've seen a huge increase in, means that generally they won't throw this away if it's an item that is suitable for your business, relatable, which means that they always see your brand, they always know who you are. Vehicle graphics are another thing that we've seen a huge increase in. And I think that's again because people were quieter and wanted ways of promoting their business, in ways that they can. So they can't meet people and give business cards and brochures, but what they can do is drive a vehicle. And then more recently, the brochures and flyers inquiries have been coming in for new businesses, because they can reach an audience that perhaps they can't reach in person at the moment by posting them. And I think there was a study done very recently by Royal Mail that was evidencing that people are going back to sending paper-based products out business-wise, to promote businesses, which it's nice to hear, because I like a brochure. I like something I can touch and feel and look at.
Yes, and in a world where we either don't get much post at all, or the post we do get is bills and demands for money. I mean, I remember last year in lockdown, receiving a box of chocolates in the post with a nice card from a client that I had professionally printed with, an organisation similar to yourselves, and that just really meant a lot. And I still remember it now. I'm still talking about it because that stood out to me over and above all the digital emails and marketing that I receive, and probably goes past my various screens each day. That box of chocolates in the post that I wasn't expecting. And that's why I absolutely hear what you're saying. The chance of starting that conversation more successfully by having the physical letter, brochure, literature, the promotional item, I guess it's a less crowded market. Is that fair to say? It's a less crowded space to promote your business.
It is, and I think that you'll hear about digital marketing, sort of click-through rates and things like that. And I think generally we're all very busy people. We see things come into our inbox, we put them into the junk, or we put them into a folder to read later. It's even automated, and then so you almost get blind to it sometimes. You see things on social media over and over again. It's what you look at perhaps personally or business wise, whereas to receive something in the post, which nowadays isn't as regular as it used to be, I think means that you can look at it and think, oh, well, actually, I might read that on my lunch break, or, my tea break. And we often send quite a lot of touch points to our own clients. It's what we advise to our customers, but we also do it ourselves. Tea bag, and a nice tea bag, nice little packet biscuits with a card, just saying, look, here's a new brochure, or here's a newsletter, take a look through it when you take 5, you deserve the break. And we do get quite a lot of positive feedback from the mailing sort of projects that we send out, the mailing, sort of products that we post out to our clients.
No, we're here at Action Coach. We've used the chocolate bar on many occasions where there's a curly whirly, because running a business is never straightforward, or the obvious Kit Kat, take a break as a business owner. Mars bars, take your business into the next world. But there's a lovely story of a client I was working with last year, and they provided fencing for domestic gardens, etc., and some commercial, and for obvious reasons couldn't go out to people's homes. So they went to their, I think it was Sainsbury's, but any supermarket last spring, and bought 100 packs of seeds, forget-me-not seeds, and sent those seeds out with a letter or a brochure, I think it was, of all their fencing products and some forget-me-not seeds, and said, we'll be back with you as soon as we can, but please don't forget about us. In the meantime, here's some seeds for your garden. And just, following that through, they had such a great success rate of, through actually sending something in the post that the consumer prospect could enjoy, that related to their business and their service. And as you said several times, keeping that conversation going with your existing clients is so important.
It is, and I think there's an age-old saying, isn't there, that people forget what you told them, but they'll never forget the way you make them feel. And I think that's why, we all do this for our clients, and particularly during the pandemic, some of the touch points that we sent out to clients, or even just a phone call, how are you? We've done some promoting of local grants as well within our client base, so that anything we hear about through our network, we can share and offer that that help and assistance, and I think that's definitely brought us closer to our clients, although we do have great relationships with them, or did have great relationships pre-COVID. I think now it's opened up those conversations that were just, how are you, how is business?
Yeah, now you'll relate to this, Kelly, with being a mum of 4 children. I remember my children's birthday this time last year, just coming up to their birthday again this year, and birthday party on Zoom with 30 children. never want to go there again, but at that time I was thinking that the world has been almost flung forward a whole decade in terms of how we do business, how we operate our businesses, just in terms of yourself and Matt at Personalised Nation. Are there changes you've made in terms of how you run the business that you're going to stick with as we go forward? Or are you looking forward to getting everybody back in person and going back to the old way of doing things?
I think there are some changes that we will definitely take forward. So we've embraced Zoom and Teams and all of the other platforms. They've helped us with website consultations where we might want to share a screen, branding projects that we're working on. We're now working further afield, so we provide print across the UK generally, but I spoke to a lady that was in Israel yesterday, and they're opening a branch in Birmingham, and I was able to screen share and show her projects that we've completed that are very similar to what she's asking us for. So it makes things possible. I think we changed, so all of our installation teams, we've tried to ensure that they can manage their projects by being able to, when we had to close the doors, to isolate everything for them. And we've enjoyed having them back on sites and seeing them in person now. So we will definitely go back to bringing our teams back in. But I think the things that we will embrace are the technology changes. It's definitely made things a lot more accessible for our customers and for us, really. And the environment, I think we've made quite a lot of changes in terms of, do we need to drive there or can we walk? Do we need 2 vehicles on the road at the same time, or can we group together things? Because I think it's given us the time to look at it, and we weren't in vehicles all the time.
Absolutely. No, got a question from Simon here. So Simon, it's great to have you with us. I think he's on the Facebook platform. Simon's asking, have you got any examples, Kelly, where you've great combination of both digital marketing and printed marketing working together alongside each other? Sort of any campaign that you can give us as an example.
I think the one that we did where we produced the brochure. So this was I want to think of the word, I can't think of the word. It was kind of pre and post COVID. So we were in that in between stage. We'd worked on the brochure for quite a while with the client. And then COVID hit and they were, well, I can't give the brochure out. So, I'm going to go ahead with it, but I can't give it out. Can we adapt this to sort of be able to push it out to that audience that we still want to reach? So that's where we did the digital digital brochure for them. And I think it's an adaptation of one product for them, but it enabled them to get that information out because they deal with clients across the whole of Europe. So it enabled them to get out obviously the information that they wanted to, while still keeping what they were doing with us originally.
That's great. And another question from Sarah. They're coming in thick and fast now, Kelly. You're not prepared for these questions, but I hope you're okay with them. So the question from Sarah: is there any additional safety measures that can be taken when providing printed materials as part of our marketing strategy in the business? So I guess she's talking about cross-contamination, COVID, and as we wouldn't shake hands, would we give business cards, for example? So are there any additional ways in which we can make that a safer for us?
I think in terms of printed products, with our orders, definitely we keep them, they're prepared and checked in-house by us, and they're packaged, and then our courier comes to collect them. We were doing a 48-hour delay on all of that. We tend to do a 24-hour delay now. So by the time it reaches our client, the inside contents haven't been touched for between 24 and 48 hours.
Great idea, yeah.
I think in terms of us personally giving out sort of business cards and brochures, personally, I haven't been meeting people face to face as yet, so I've not had the opportunity, although I look forward to it because we've just had new ones produced, and I think it's down to each individual's feelings about taking something. I know that when we first had COVID hit, I wasn't touching the post for 5 days, so I was kind of kicking it into the side, and there was a box at the side of the letterbox, and I wasn't touching that. Yet I know people that weren't taking those precautions. So I think there are digital versions of business cards that are becoming a lot more popular, and I think they're a great idea. They're a great idea in terms of, again, the environment, but also in terms of, if you're not keen on giving a physical item, then that is a great alternative, although a lot of our clients will isolate packages as well. So we've taken deliveries to different parts of the buildings because the sole purpose of that is for them to be put down and left.
Quarantine phase.
Yeah. So a lot of our larger customers, the nursing homes included, are doing that.
Right. So in terms of just going back to some of the conversation points we want to talk about before we finish. So, tell us a bit about personalization. What makes you different, Kelly, to other printers, other, signage, print, display companies? Why would we come to you?
I think in terms of the industry, I've touched on the fact that we've been together, myself and Matt have been in it for just under 30 years. And a couple of years ago, we wrote a book.
I was going to ask you about your book, yes.
We wrote a book called 99 Problems But Print Ain't One. And the reason we did that, I think, was because print, some of our customers asked us the same advice, so we wanted to put it all out there. We wanted to share some of the faux pas of the industry, as well as some of the great successes of the print industry. But I think what makes us different, we are aware that we're a product-based business generally. So what we sell is a tangible product, is something that we produce and we install or we deliver. However, the service that we offer that comes along with that is 100% what sets us apart. So we've done a poll with our customers just under a year ago now, actually, that asked them, Would you recommend us? How would you describe us? The best thing since sliced bread, that came from that poll.
Right.
And the one thing that was standout comment with every client was you, because you offer the service we need. You take away that hassle. We can order our print, we can order our exhibition stand and our promotional goods to give out. We can have our vehicle sign written and our offices branded, all from you, but you're also able to advise us and guide us on the best way forward. And I think that generally it's why we set the business up, which is why it's so lovely to hear. We didn't want to become okay, we'll produce it, we'll package it, we'll deliver next. We didn't want that. We wanted to know our clients. We do know our clients, but also we wanted to offer something that was of benefit in terms of, we can look after. The reason the nursing home group come back to us over and over again is because their brand guidelines are really important, and we're able to look after them, whether it be a sign or whether it be uniform or printed literature.
And just picking up on the book to make sure that all our listeners, whether you're listening to us live or later on YouTube, it's 99 Problems, but print ain't one of them. Is that right?
It is, yes. And it was an Amazon bestseller.
Amazon bestseller, and co-authored by yourself and Matt, or just one of you, just so people looking it up?
Both of us.
So
yeah.
Matt and Kelly Nation, 99 Problems, but print ain't one of them. Available on Amazon right now. So we'll put the link in with the video, Kelly, so that people can go and order that, or at least look at it and choose whether it's a book they want to read or not. It sounds really intriguing. We have a book club here at Action Coach, so it might be one that we look at going forwards in our book club, and we'll give you some feedback. But,
lovely.
So in terms of what you do as a business, how has that changed, and do you do any other new products and things you've brought out as a result of COVID, or perhaps you hadn't have thought out of doing pre-COVID that you now do?
There was a couple of things that we've done as a direct result of inquiries. One of them was an antimicrobial film that we started to use for our clients that wanted touch points to be safe and secure.
Is that film for any of your products, or just on display, or how does that work?
Generally just on displays.
Nice.
So it's a product that we our installers can install. But we've recently brought in a new product range of an architectural wrap, which allows companies to, I suppose, upcycle as opposed to refurb. So we're working with quite a few facilities management and fit out companies with this product, because some companies, particularly the hospitality industry, that have been closed for near enough a year, maybe just over, might want to refurb. But there's a lot of cost involved in that. There's a lot of downtime involved in that. And the impact on the environment is huge when you're throwing out to bring in the new. And there's a place for that. There's absolutely a place for that. But this is a more cost effective and more environmentally friendly way of wrapping fixtures and fittings with an architectural wrap that can be heat resistant. It comes in hundreds of different colours, designs, textures, and looks like a refurb, but a fraction of the cost.
Sounds great. And I guess that's something you can offer now and have been offering throughout lockdown. So if people are interested in finding out more, your contact details are on the screen, and have a chat. So tell me, what are some of the strangest things you wrapped with that then, Kelly?
So we've not strange, maybe. We'd had some inquiries about the inside of an elevator, actually, just to make it a little bit more attractive, a little bit fresher and newer. We've had some standard I say standard inquiries. It's what most of our marketing was around, really, which are things like desk areas, reception areas, that we can cover with it, to either save that cost or, like I say, the downtime, because we can work around employees or business owners, as opposed to closed, because you've got banging and sort of pulling furniture in and out. So those are some of the most recent ones that we've been working on.
Brilliant. And in terms of other services you offer, so we touched briefly on website design. Is that something new you've started recently? Have you been doing that for a long time, or?
We've been doing that for, it was pre-lockdown. It was a couple of months before lockdown, and it was a natural progression for us. Again, we listen to our customers, we speak to our customers regularly, and they generally say, can you do this? Can you do that? And a lot of our customers will describe us as, if you print it, you can do it. But now then it got to, well, what about our website? We need our logo for our website. You've designed that. We need this for our website. You've done that. Our digital brochure needs uploading. Can we do that? So it was a natural progression to be able to bring that in-house and say, as a new business, for instance, a new business can come in and have their signage, all of their marketing collateral, but also their website designed as well, just from one place.
And if a client or a customer has really switched over to digital marketing, Kelly, what would you say to them to try and persuade them to come back to the world of print and sort of physical, brochures, leaflets, etc., etc.?
I think rather than persuade, maybe, we offer a complimentary consultation with all of our clients. So what we tend to do is talk to them about who is your client, who are you in front of or want to be in front of, what product do you use at the moment, do they work, don't they work? I think, and rather than persuade, I think because we can offer both, there's a place for us to speak to them about the digital side or the print side. It's about marrying that relationship of the client up with the product that's best for them. I think in terms of brochures and business cards, I honestly think they bring that different element of, like you say, the smile on your face when you open it, the tactile element of it. And in our industry, the reason we do it is because it's what we do. So, to be able to showcase what we do in our marketing campaigns is really important. So I think that's that is what I do with my clients. I speak to them and find out what they want to achieve and what product best fits that, that goal.
Absolutely, there's nothing better than having a conversation with somebody over the phone or on the internet, on email, etc. And a couple of days later, you get a postcard through the post that's either personalized to you or just a generic one from that business. But it really does show that they've taken time, haven't they, to understand and care about that prospect of that client. So I absolutely agree, Kelly. I think there really is a place. There will always be a place.
There will
for printed,
and I think and I do think they see that when we work with them, because we do it to our clients. So perhaps they may not come to us initially for printed collateral, but they will see how it or they will experience how it made them feel. And we've had a few clients now come and say, I've had this from you and I've had that from you. Can you come and talk to me about what touch points I could do for my client? What could you produce that would make my clients feel that way? And that's that's one of my favourite jobs, that is. It really
you
is.
Talked a bit about Liverpool Lime Street at the beginning. You talked about wrapping the inside of an elevator or a lift. What just to finish up, what would be your dream job going forward in terms of dream project for Personalised Nation? If you had the choice of all the projects out there, what would you love to do?
I think working with multi-site companies is a dream project for us. So in terms of what we do at the moment for multi-sites, we've got hairdressers and we've got nursing homes. I would like to work with more nursing homes. What we've achieved with Restful Homes Group, which is who we work with, is phenomenal. Just to see the results and the benefits to the residents there. It ticks all the boxes. It's pleasing to see the joy that we've brought to residents there. It's pleasing to see that they're opening new homes all of the time, and it's nice work for us to do because we know we can take the hassle away from them.
Brilliant. And Kelly, you talked a few minutes ago about sort of, I think it was a complimentary consultation. Is that right?
Yeah.
There's somebody's sort of sitting here questioning, well, should I think about getting, business cards is easy, obvious option, but brochures, literature printed, or think about a refurb or new signage as they start to reopen or have been reopened for a while. What's the first step for you? Is that just having that conversation together, working?
It is, yeah. So I know my email's up on the screen and our website as well. If anybody wants to get in touch, then feel free to drop me an email, and then I would just start that conversation. It's about finding out, what's going on. Whether have you moved address? Are you a new business? Have you had a rebrand? Are you thinking of rebranding? And then together we'll achieve the right action for them, and plan going forward, what is best for their business.
Brilliant. And just to double check, you cover Birmingham and further afield? Obviously you talked about national businesses you've worked with, national organisations. So do you have any restrictions geographically? Are you?
No, we work across the whole of the UK. And our sweet spot, I suppose, is Staffordshire, West Midlands, because it's where we're born and bred and where we're based. But no, we have fitters going. We've got some work going on in Wembley at the moment, some in Manchester, but all across the UK is fine.
Brilliant. And so just before we finish, the book is 99 problems, but print ain't one of them. Is it ain't or isn't one of them?
It's 99 problems, but print ain't one.
Print ain't one. So
yeah.
99 problems, but print ain't one, by Kelly and Matt Nation from Amazon, and we'll make sure we put the link in there. So really good to meet you today, Kelly. You and I have met before, but to see you on Zoom. It's been a while since we last caught up, and really appreciate you taking time to join us today. If you have any questions and you're listening to this in delay later on, or on Facebook, LinkedIn, or on YouTube, please do still ask them. Kelly and I will still reach out to you. We'll put the links to the book and to both of our organizations in the YouTube channel as well. So please do reach out to us. We'd love to have that initial conversation, as Kelly's described, just to learn a bit about your business and how we can work with you. So whether it's print and design, display, Kelly and Matt would love to have a conversation with you. Equally, if you're not sure about the next steps for your business and want to know how you can take your business to the next level, we'd also love to have a conversation with you, whether that's taking part in one of our group coaching sessions, or whether it's one-to-one coaching, or you just want to have that one first conversation to find out what coaching is all about. We'd love to have a chat with you as well. But for now, thank you, Kelly, again so much. I know you've got a tribe waiting at home or waiting to come back from school.
From school.
I have to say, I was on your website earlier on, just looking at what you do currently, and it's lovely to see that the business is also focused on the children as well. You've got pictures of them there. It's not sort of they're behind the scenes. They're there first, at the front of the business, aren't they? It's lovely to see.
They are indeed, yes.
But thank you again, Kelly, and to Matt for giving you an hour of your lunch, and really appreciate that. And look forward to hopefully to catch up again in the future. We're good to have you back with us here at Action Coach for our Lunch and Learn. But for now, we'll say thank you very much, and have a great afternoon, and enjoy the rest of the week to you and to all our listeners. So take care, and we'll speak to you very soon.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
Bye.